What's up, everyone? Welcome back to our Hangout series with Run the Night TV. I'm Alex, your host as always. We've been away for a while, trying to get things going. As of right now, we're trying to do this weekly, get it all nice and flowy, as of opposed to randomly like we've been doing it in the past. Get a good flow going. We're joined here today by Josh Phillips. How you doing, Josh?
How you doing, man?
Word. So I've known Josh, I think a year or two now. I met you when you were opening for Nervo actually at Neptune's.
Neptune's Beach Club. Yeah, it was June 2012. Yeah, so
Yeah,
2 years.
2 years now. Wow, it's been kind of a while.
Yeah, it has. That was a good time.
Yeah, no, that was actually a really fun party. I enjoyed that a lot. And it's funny because now you are producing stuff for Nervo.
Yeah, not producing for them.
No, he's
Working
not
on
ghost
on
producing. I
remix.
don't I don't want to get my words confused. He's not the ghost producer for Nervo. I
Yeah,
don't know what you guys have been hearing out there. It's all rumors.
yeah,
But no,
no.
so let's talk about that. Let's talk about your new stuff coming up with Nervo real quick.
Yeah. So I'm currently working on a remix for them for their new track "Sunshine Through Rain Clouds" with vocals by Dwayne Harden. So I'm almost done, just working on final mix and master, and it should be done in a couple of days or so.
Nice. And he has his private chat in the background. That's what we're all hearing right now. Josh
Yeah,
Phillips
they're getting ready to come pick me up.
will be on.
We're going to Ibiza.
So obviously you're from Long Island. For all those who don't know, so let's kind of talk about how you got into DJing and producing, and especially being a Long Island DJ and producer.
Um, well, secretly before I was DJing in clubs, I was DJing like weddings and sweet 16s and parties like that, private parties. I've been doing it since I'm 16, and I'm now 25, so it's been 9 years. Started using CDs before there was any laptops or anything like that. And then I would say probably in around 2011, I was just DJing at a friend of mine's backyard, and there happened to be a promoter there. And he was like, "Why don't you DJ in the clubs?" And I was just like, "I don't know. I just kind of just did, privately and for friends and stuff." And then, he booked me in my first club, and then since then it's just been, history.
Sweet. That's that's a good story. You get discovered at a private party of all things, and kind of snowballs from there.
Yeah, and I've been producing maybe like 4 years now. I started in with the tech house and had some major support around New York with some of my bootlegs and remixes that I did, and then I've moved into progressive and electro and getting support now from artists like Tiesto, Dyro, and things like that.
Nice. So what do you think really made that change for you, going from the techie stuff to now the more electro progressive main stage kind of stuff, if you will?
New York is very competitive, especially for tech house and techno. Everyone wants to do tech house and techno. It's
Right.
for some reason like it's just everyone gravitates to that in the tri-state area. I don't know why, but it's the market for electro and progressive artists and DJs and producers in New York is a lot smaller. So I felt I had a better chance, and I realized slowly that my productions were getting better, and I just felt more confident and just decided to make the switch.
hmm So did you get your start on Long Island or in the city, or kind of both?
I guess you know my second gig I ever played was at Cielo.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's like my first gig was in Long Island. It was at Patio in Freeport at the Nautical Mile, and then my second gig was at Cielo. So it was like things went pretty fast, So it was like I guess both all over. I've played all over at this point in
hmm
New York.
One thing I think it's always hard to explain to people, especially like an international audience, the concept of like the Long Island club scene, or just EDM scene in general. Like how would you describe it, and then how would you describe kind of rising through it?
Um, it's not really an EDM scene. It's like people just really enjoying the music, but not really understanding the background of it.
Hmm.
You know, it's like people hear Avicii on the radio or Calvin Harris on the radio, and it's like, oh, this is EDM, and they're like, I want to check out these parties. And then, it just moves from there. It's and like in the city, I feel like people have more of a grasp on the music because they'll do like bigger venues, and they have like Governor's Island and Roseland Ballroom,
Right.
things like that, where you could actually go and experience what real EDM is,
Hmm. Yeah, I've noticed the same thing. It seems kind of all throughout New York. It's more, I think, club scene more so than EDM scene in the sense that there are so many reasons people are going out in general, and music is not necessarily always the first one. But on Long Island specifically, it's like people go out, and the result is that they're listening to EDM rather than going to listen to it.
Yeah, it's very limited also with like we had Glow nightclub, which
Hmm.
was awesome, in its peak. Major artists played there. I saw Steve Angelo there. I saw Avicii there. Tiesto played there. So, but now we don't really have that.
Hmm.
Now if you want to go there, it's Buffalo Wild Wings. You know,
Yeah, I
for
used to go there for the teen clubs. Good,
yeah.
good
I
times.
mean, for a while we had Aura. There were some pretty major names that played there, and I was lucky to be one of the resident openers there, and I got to play with a bunch of the guys. But now it's there's not much room because there's no clubs.
Hmm.
So hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, we'll see. It's definitely always a changing market, Long Island. Very, very
Yeah,
honestly weird. There's no like logic to it, I think.
yeah. I mean, they're still doing like underground bookings,
Hmm.
but like I see Oscar G's in Long Island all the time. They'll do like Boris and Victor. But
Hmm.
there's no like they're not bringing EDM. You're not seeing Nervo here since they played Neptunes.
Hmm.
Or for example, like Steve Angelo's probably hasn't stepped foot on Long Island since he played Glow.
Yeah. So I still want to focus on this whole Long Island thing because again, it's something that rarely get to talk about with anyone, and I think you're the perfect guy to do it. Let's talk about kind of the promoters in Long Island. Obviously like Lou B. You
Yeah.
still got some Rob Fernandez out there, but kind of talk about how you established your relationship with these guys and kind of what they do for the scene.
Um, Lou B is probably like the most influential promoter on Long Island. I think I guess you could kind of say he like runs. If you're booking a big artist in Long Island, it's probably being booked through Luby. You know,
Hmm.
um, I met him through friends. He manages John Page, and I kind of became friendly with him. We exchanged some music, and he just liked what I was doing, and he just started booking me. And I mean, if you know Lou B on Long Island, that's pretty much the only person you need to know if you want to get some good bookings.
Yeah, that's true. He's definitely the godfather of Long Island. I don't think anyone calls him that, but it sounds like a good title in my head
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, he's been good to me, so I can't really complain.
Nice. So all right. So you got the whole local thing down. So let's talk about kind of where are you at right now? Let's talk about your beginning. Where are you currently in terms of playing gigs and producing?
Um, the place I play the most is Pacho, New York.
Hmm.
Uh, I think like last month or the month before, I played like 2 or 3 times just in like a span of like 4 weeks, which was awesome. I played with Borgor, Chris Lake. I played with Helena, Rebecca and Fiona. Um, the last one I did was Bob Sinclair. Amazing. It's always awesome to play with a legend like that.
Yeah, of course, for
Yeah.
sure.
Um, uh, I mean, that's pretty much the only place that I'm playing at the moment.
Hmm.
I kind of try and stay away from the VIP clubs
Right.
because it's not about the music.
Exactly.
It's like
It's a club before anything else, really. It's
yeah,
about
and I
that.
like to feel the energy from the crowd. There's nothing. It's there's no other. I can't explain the feeling that you get.
Hmm.
When you get the energy from the crowd,
Oh
and
yeah, for
then
sure.
like a couple thousand people.
So like obviously, like you were saying, Pasha, and I see all your Facebook posts all the time. Pasha is like a second home to you, if not your home right now. Um, so opening and closing for these artists, rather than playing a main set, how do you I guess my question is, how do you kind of still connect with the audience? Do you feel it's easier, harder, or how to talk about that, the energy flow?
Um, Opening is like a science that a lot of people don't understand.
Hmm.
Um, my opening set is like a set that I've built over like 2 or 3 years. Because from what I'm told, I'm a pretty decent opener. So it's like it's not like it just happened overnight. Like I've been testing these records out for years to see how they work with the crowd. Because if you're like opening for someone like Borgor, you know that he's just coming in as hard as anyone can play, and for
Hmm.
you to not step on his toes but still have the crowd interested, it's it could be pretty difficult. So I just feel like you really just need to take your time with your music that you play when you open and keep it funky and groovy for sure.
Hmm.
And then for closing, I mean, it's like playing a headline set. For me,
Hmm.
at least, I get to test out my new tracks that I can't play when I'm opening, which is always awesome because the crowd's already up.
Right.
It's like a roller coaster going up in the club. You open and you kind of bring it up, and then it peaks with the headliner, and the closer still kind of has a little bit of the peak before it starts going down. So like your first couple tracks, if you play some new originals, it's like the best feeling when you get that reaction from the crowd.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel you. We've talked about it definitely a few times on Run the Night. The whole concept of opening, and like that was one of the things that I think, like you're saying, a lot of people just don't get it. It's one of those things, if you're not a DJ and you're not doing it,
Yeah.
very few people understand the concept. It's like, well, why is this guy playing, groovy right now? Why is it building? Why isn't it just everyone banging out? And until you get the science of it, you're like, that makes sense. In terms of you like mentioned opening for a Borgor versus a Nervo, or even like a tech house guy. Do you feel your job differs, or you just kind of keep it that constant little rising groovy pace or
It's
the
for me.
opening scene?
It's always groovy, and that's where I started. So it's like for me, I
Right.
enjoy it. I would enjoy coming out, playing the hits, being able to play my new productions. But for it's enjoyable to play, like that underground, deeper, groovy stuff. Hit them with some vocals,
Hmm.
and just get them feeling right and ready. And then then they get to rage. They dance when I play, and then they rage when the headliner comes on.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Get the full experience, full gambit of everything.
Yeah, so it's cool, and
Awesome, man.
it's from my point of view, it's like it's cool to see that, and then sometimes when you close, like you also it's a different energy. It could be the same crowd, but you can see how the energy has changed.
Hmm.
So it's cool to like be able to experience that.
Hmm. Cool, man. So let's get into so when you're playing these gigs, let's talk about your setup. I mean, obviously you're using CDJ 2000s, 2000 Nexus.
Yes.
Uh, how many decks are you using? Do you have a computer thrown in there?
No
What's your
computer,
setup?
USB sticks or SD cards, doesn't matter. Um, Most of the time, I'm just using deck one and deck two. I've used three decks before, um, just for fun. Try and
Hmm.
test the waters. If I want to throw an acapella over something, I have a drum loop on one deck just to keep it
Hmm.
interesting. Things
There you
like
go.
that. Yeah, but always 3 or 4 CDJs linked. That's pretty much the standard for most of the DJs out now.
Good stuff. All right, so let's switch gears to the whole production world. I know you obviously like the production world. You have the noisiest things happening around you. We have your private jet, your limo waiting outside. I don't know what's going on back there. Damn, man. All right.
My motorcycle just left.
Yeah, just left with your girlfriend on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But cool. All right, so production. So let's talk about your studio setup. What DAW are you working with, and all that good nitty gritty detail stuff.
Yeah. I'm using Logic. Logic is my baby right now. I started with Ableton, so I can't hate on Ableton. But moving from Ableton to Logic was like a big game changer for me, for sure. Just it improved my mix workflow. I just felt like that little piece that was missing from Ableton,
Hmm.
like I gained it when I switched to Logic.
Cool, cool. So like that's another thing we always get is oh which platform do you like the best? And it's like everyone has so many varying opinions, and I think you would agree it's just what you feel more comfortable with at that point, because everything's professional and can kind of get the job done.
Exactly. I know artists that use Ableton, they use Logic, they use FL, Cubase, Reason. Um, Everyone can achieve the same sound no matter what DAW you're using.
Hmm.
It's just your experience with it, you know? And some
Yeah,
people are just better than others.
yeah. That's what it comes down to. And the
Yeah.
good guys are the ones ghost producing for other people. Like you
No,
ghost produce for Nervo. No, I'm just kidding.
no.
He's not. Again, just a joke. He's not ghost producing for Nervo. I know everyone thinks it now. It's gonna be a Wonderground
No,
Sound article or
no.
something. But
It's really not.
all right, let's kind of dive into some questions here. So Peter he asks, what speakers do you tend to use during music production?
In my personal studio, I have Yamaha HS80s. Um, I've I really enjoy the focals though. I use my buddy's studio, and he uses focals, and just I think for the price, they're a little expensive, but they just sound amazing,
Hmm.
you know. And you can really get a clean mix. I love to track in my studio with my Yamahas. I have the HS80s with the sub, and it works perfectly for what I need. But when it comes to really mixing and mastering, you really need to do it on good speakers.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's one thing I always hear a lot is this the sound quality differs based off so much in terms of what the hell you're actually listening with. And do you do all the mixing and mastering yourself, or do you send it out, or?
Um, I do my own mixing. I can't say that I do my own mastering. That's like it's like being like a locksmith or like a plumber. Like it's a specialized, you know, you need to be
Yeah.
really specialized to do it properly. I could do it digitally, but it just doesn't sound the same if I send it out and someone does it, analog in a studio that's made like a mastering house.
Hmm. Yeah, or else you'll have a non-functioning sink and a lot of water in your kitchen. So
Yeah.
I feel you. I
Yeah,
feel you
so
on that.
I have gotten I've been practicing on my mixing, and I'm almost there. I've been getting a lot of help from some very talented producers, so it's definitely gotten better.
Awesome. So there's a lot of random ones here. So we're going to stick to producing right now before we get into these. I'm sure you've looked at the questions. There are you have some strange fans here posting some things, but it's all good.
Yeah, so
So
some weird questions there.
David asks, what plugins, if any, would you insert for recording vocals in a home studio?
Uh, Vocals. I mean, more importantly, you just want to make sure that your microphone is set up properly. I don't have I have like a $200 microphone going into my audio interface, and um, as long as you're using phantom powered, everything for the most part should record like pretty decent.
Hmm.
It's when you mix the vocals, it's pretty much after you record. You're not recording them mixed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, yeah. I know exactly what you're saying.
So like you'll record the vocals, and then Melodyne is awesome. There's Vocaline, and then like Logic has built-in plugins that do like cool effects and stuff to vocals. So things like that.
Nice. Do you do you use a lot of vocals, or do you work with a lot of vocalists, or you're mainly doing more remix kind of stuff with already obviously vocals present?
Yeah, I've been pretty lucky, and I've worked with some really talented vocalists. I did a collaboration with Carl Kennedy, and we got wonderful vocals from this talented singer called Harper. and
Nice.
I have another single called "Stairways to Happiness" that I recorded with this other vocalist, Adriana, who's great. And let's see, vocals. I've worked with Gabrielle Ross, who just did vocals for Paris and Simo, and she's done vocals for Marco V.
Hmm.
And that's pretty much it. You know, I and I like the big piano tracks with nice, pretty vocals. I
Hmm.
haven't worked with male vocals yet, which is what I'm looking for. So if there's any male vocalists that want to sing on some of my records, please.
Yeah, you got the Josh Phillips exclusive. The Craigslist posting is coming out right after this. Male vocalist wanted. Contact
Yeah.
Josh Phillips. Oh, so in terms of using vocals rather than like, I know a lot of guys obviously when they first start producing or starting to master it, you don't see a lot of people obviously cranking out vocals on their tracks. It's usually more uh, instrumentals, if you will. Do you think it adds an extra line of complexity in terms of actually producing to have the vocals, or it's just kind of it's not really that difficult. You just once you know how to do it, you do it. That makes
Um,
sense.
it's not complex at all. I mean, it's it's as honestly as long as the vocals are recorded and sound decent,
Hmm.
it's really you know just making it fit in your mix is probably the hardest part. Knowing how to make your instruments not be too loud so the vocal sits nice, or not making it too on top of the mix so it just sits like right in the middle, kind of in your face.
Right.
But besides that, I feel like vocals are pretty important sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
So
like,
when
sorry.
here, keep going. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, like
You're the star here.
I just feel like vocals, um, like for radio especially, if there was no vocals on the radio, people wouldn't remember songs. You know,
Right.
it's like you need the vocals there, the catchiness, it gets implanted in people's brains. Like, oh, I know this song, and then you sing along, you know?
Hmm.
So it's
For sure.
pretty important. In the club, people know the melodies when it's like a big track, but when you add a lot of tracks re-released with vocal versions.
Right. That's for me. That was always a huge, massive pain in the ass when I like first started listening to electronic music, EDM or whatever, and just you'd hear this song, you'd be like, "Oh my God, I need this track," and then it's like, "But how do I Google,
Yeah,
boom to boom?" It doesn't work. So
there's
I
no
guess
way.
exactly.
You just
It's a
can't. And
it's a good marketing tool to have the vocals in as well. No one looks at it like that, but
yeah, I think artists realize that, and they started doing things like they'll put like vocal fills before the drop, and then that's the name of the track.
right.
You know? So it's like I think it's something that people have realized over time,
Hmm.
because like pretty much most of the big room tracks that come out now, there's these big builds and there's like a phrase right before the drop, and
Hmm.
most of the time that phrase is the title of the record.
There you go. Subliminal, but not really subliminal marketing
Yeah.
embedded in tracks. Cool. So let's talk about like kind of when you sit down to make a track. What is your process? Do you start with the melody? You start with bass line? How do you go from start to finish?
Um, it depends if it's a what kind of record I'm in the mood to make, or if I have a vocal or not. If I'm building around a vocal, I'm gonna want to do the chords first, and then try and find a top melody that fits in nicely. If I'm doing a deep track, it's the bass line for sure. It's the most
Hmm.
important part. Electro track, it's kind of really important to have the right sounds if you're doing electro. So you kind of want to find a cool sound, and then you're not really so much building a melody. You're building kind of like a pattern. So I'll find a cool pattern that fits with that sound, and then just build from there. Because it's kind of like it's like there's like a template that everyone is kind of like jumped on and
Hmm.
used. So there's not really much variation in like the big room electro tracks. So it's like once you have your sounds right and your pattern, then it's pretty much like putting the pieces together from there.
I feel you.
Yeah.
So we got jumping into some more questions. Again, we're gonna hold off on these crazy ones for just a little bit. Who slash what gives you the inspiration to produce dance music?
Inspiration. Well, I think I get a lot of inspiration from some of my friends. You know, I work. I've been lucky enough to meet some talented producers who've like taken the time to sit down with me and try, give me tips and trying to explain what some things do a little bit better than watching like a YouTube video on trying to figure something out myself.
Right.
Um, a big inspiration for me is probably another artist from New York. His name is Sid. He just released on Size. He's released on Protocol. He's released on Ultra, and I think he's gonna have a big year. He's super talented, and he's really helped me a lot with my productions. Hard Rock Sofa, good friends of mine. They've helped me out. Giving me tips. Sharing. The secrets of producers. Um, Dyro has helped me out a bunch. Let's see who else. I think those three are probably my biggest motivators.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good list if you're gonna list motivators. That's not a bad one. Not a bad one at all. But I think a cool question to ask you because you're kind of you're in a local scene right now, and obviously you have some big world connections. Someone who is also working their way up in the scene, how would how would you suggest that these up and comers kind of also create these connections? Like what's the best way to connect with a bigger artist and get them to what I mean, not necessarily be like beg them to be my friend, but establish that relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I necessarily know the best way, but I know the way that works for me, which was, I was always trying to be in the right place at the right time. And I know that sounds easy to say, but it's just like you kind of just always need to be around. Even if it's like a night where you don't really want to go out, but there might be a slight chance for something good or productive to happen. Like you just got to bite the bullet and go. And
Hmm.
always being out really, really has helped me because that's where you meet the artists. You don't meet them sitting home watching television. You go out, you go out and you meet them and you talk with them and you try and make them remember you.
Hmm.
And then that's just what's worked for me, and it's definitely paid off.
That's good advice. I mean, unless I guess if you're trying to meet like Dead Mouse or something, maybe sitting at your computer might be the best way
Yeah,
to do it. But I think that's an exception. So your
yeah.
way probably is better for sure.
Yeah, I mean, especially in New York, being a resident or not like playing frequently at Pasha, um, just being able to be in the same room with some of these artists and have a conversation with them is like such a huge help. Exchanging email addresses, things like that. It's really helped for sure.
For sure. Word. So all right, let's jump into we got kind of a weird one here, but not too
Skip the
bad.
weird ones.
Well, this one I gotta ask you because I've been wondering it myself. Can you teach us how to tame that beauty lion's mane of yours with a smiley face
That?
added? What?
No
Did you
one.
hear
Is
it?
that a real question?
By DJ Guggenheim. So I don't know if you know Mr. DJ Guggenheim.
Hold on. Someone really asked that?
Yeah, teach us how to tame the beauty lion's mane of yours
What
with
does
a
that
winky
even
face, not
mean?
a smiley face.
I think I might know who that is, but I really don't. It's a DJ, and I only asked a couple DJs to comment. DJ Guggenheim.
Do
Um, yeah, I mean, it's just
do you
kind of
still
just
have long hair? You did at one point, right? You had
no,
long
no,
hair.
it's still long.
There you go.
It's long, yeah. I could
So
take that.
what are the beauty tips from DJ
Um,
Josh Phillips?
it's just it's just flow. You just gotta have flow.
There you go.
Gotta have
There's no
flow.
secret to it.
That's it.
It's just flow.
It's just flow. You just gotta let it flow.
All right. Giselle asks if you could change one thing about the EDM industry, what would it be?
Um,
You could take some time if you need it, because this
no,
could
it's
be a
pretty.
deep
I
question.
mean, I think. if it was more, if it was less about who you know and more about talent,
Hmm.
I think that that would be amazing for a lot of talented people.
That's your motorcycle back with
That's
you.
my money. He came back.
Came back.
He's
I
bringing me
could,
some food.
I completely agree with you actually on that for
Yeah,
sure. I think that's really been just that whole dynamic of who you know over what you know
exactly.
has. I think it's been a big influencer in the industry lately, and I think it's personally done a lot more bad than good. So I agree with you on that for
For
sure.
sure. I mean, to add to that, like going out to like promoters, especially in New York, booking DJs that actually have some talent rather
Hmm.
than just booking them over the fact that they're going to bring an extra 50 people to your venue.
Right.
You know, because um, I've uh, I've gone out and seen some openers or that have completely disrespected the headliner, and it's you know, yeah, they'll bring the extra people because of their promotion or whatever they're doing, but again, it's like it's really a bad look to the headliner if you potentially want them to come back, because it's like, why would I want to go back to a place where this headline the opener thinks that they're a headliner and they come on so hot, you know?
Hmm.
So it's kind of like a good and bad thing for promoters.
Right. I mean, the way I look at it is I never actually understood the whole concept of like, let's just book the kid who brings 30, 50 kids and hope he doesn't ruin the night. Because
Yeah.
the way I look at it is, okay, so you have those 30, 50 friends, but in a big venue, 1,500 people, 2,000, that's okay. So this kid has his friends are happy, and everyone else is just sitting there like, what the fuck are we listening to? So
Yeah.
it's like, and that's what I've noticed is it's become so short term, really, in that sense. No one's thinking long term of book the talent that's going to keep people there coming back, rather than just book little people that can bring their friends. So,
Yeah, and if the vibe is bad from the start, it could ruin the vibe for the night.
hmm, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially the opening set. It's so important just for just from the business standpoint of bar sales and the vibe standpoint of just establishing that correct atmosphere for the party.
Yeah, plus like, if you have an opener that comes in and is playing like Hardwell at Ultra, and you have a headliner that's like Chocolate Puma,
Right.
amazing producers, amazing DJs, but everyone's gonna leave when Chocolate Puma comes on.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly. We need to save the world, Josh. We need to make this not happen anymore. And maybe throughout the course of this interview, we will figure out the answers. But that's a long shot. But we've
Yeah,
got time.
try.
All right. So Carlos, Kid or Sid?
That's it. Yeah.
That's Sid. Okay. Uh, Sid with a C. All right. He says he has a bullshit question and a real question. So I'll ask both. First, we got blondes or brunettes.
Oh, brunettes all the way.
Ooh,
Sorry, sorry, blondes.
yeah, all the blonde ladies out there just turn on home. So Nervo, no Nervo. Wow.
I don't know
Ooh.
about that, but
Oh, so there are exceptions to this. Okay,
yeah,
I
of
see.
course, there's always exceptions. Like the one from The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
I think everyone would agree with me on that one.
All right. So all you blonde ladies out there, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
You still have a shot with Josh Phillips, but you're in line behind the brunettes unless you're a
for
perfect 10.
sure.
But personality, of course, is important. It's not
Oh, most important.
most important. There you go.
Yeah, for sure.
And Sid's real question, on a serious note, you got to start with that. What's your favorite style of house music to play?
Um, can I say my own productions?
Yeah, it's. I don't think that's really that narcissistic. Other people might, but I see what you're saying, so that makes
Yeah, I
sense.
mean, it's kind of it's a feeling that you can't really explain. You kind of just have to experience it. But like um, I was doing a closing at Pasha, or even in an opening. I kind of tested the boundaries with some of my records and stuff that I'm sure people have never heard before. And first breakdown happens, and there's vocals. By the second breakdown, they're repeating the hook.
Hmm.
And I'm people watching while I'm up there. More importantly, and to see people repeating the hook and like putting their hands in the air and going crazy is like just something that you just need to experience, you
Hmm.
know. As far as a specific genre, I house, just straight up house. You know, the Cube Guys type, just feel good. You
Hmm.
know, Armin van Helden, you don't know
Yeah,
me type deal.
there you go.
Yeah,
I agree with you too. Actually, it's a great genre just to chill at if you're gonna pick a genre, pick one like pick that.
yeah.
Perfect.
It just like I don't know. I mean, it makes you feel like summer. You're on a beach and you can
Hmm.
dance.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And one thing you kind of mentioned, you brought it up, is like one of the big things for producing for you is you get to see that crowd impact. So you get to see a crowd reacting to the music that you've created yourself. Um, and I know obviously right now in the industry we kind of have that DJ versus producer split and kind of fight, if you will,
yeah.
where it seems like everyone is now more of a producer than a DJ. And I always felt, I think it should be kind of the old way, or in terms of I view it as a very live medium, and everyone should be a DJ first, because if you're producing, you want that feeling of everyone responding. So how do you think that live element and that feeling plays into what you're producing, if that makes sense?
Um, like you always want to feel like the energy is always there, you know, and when you're producing. So it's like DJing. It's great for experience.
Hmm.
So you play in the clubs, you know what the people want to hear, you know how they react to certain records, and then you don't want to like try and duplicate that, but
Right.
you get a better understanding of what will work in the club and what will not work in the club.
Hmm.
As far as being a DJ producer nowadays, I feel like you need to be a really talented producer first,
Hmm.
and then the DJing just kind of, even if you're just a producer, like they kind of like force you to DJ in order
Right.
for people to like to be able to hear your music live and be able to see you, because you're not going to go and perform, like you're not really playing live instruments, so it's not like you're a band or like you're not singing, so you kind of, for you to showcase what you've done, you kind of just need to bite the bullet, DJ, and do it in the clubs.
Right. I agree. I think for sure, definitely the way it is now is
Yeah,
if you want to take this to that level, you have to produce. Obviously, like and I think, and that's I'm saying that the emphasis is so much on that, and I completely see why, and it makes sense. But I personally just think that live element, like you were saying, everyone now who does, you can't just do one or the other. Really, you have to do both. And that's why I think the emphasis should still be more on DJing, because these producers still have to go out there
yeah,
and DJ. And if they lose that connection with the crowd because of their lack of skill, for a better term, you know, it's gonna, I think, decrease their image overall.
yeah. The DJing is still super important. It's not like it's not something that needs to be taken lightly. You know, like a lot of the great producers now were DJs first,
Right.
but for the most part, the new young guys that are really becoming big are producers first
Mm-hmm.
and DJs second.
Definitely. Word.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to some weird ones. All right. So for
I read one before that should not be asked.
well, that's the thing, man. I'm not really one for censorship, so we can ask some weird stuff. What I was gonna ask you, yeah, you're right. That's probably too weird. We're not gonna get into that. All right. So let's get back to production a little bit. So what are some of your favorite soft synths at the moment?
Software synths. There's always, you know, Nexus, Silent are pretty popular ones. A new one that I've been abusing a lot is called Spire.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a mix between Nexus and Silent,
Okay.
and it just produces some amazing sounds. So um, that's like it's kind of like an industry secret at the moment, but it's becoming more and more popular. So
Well, you just leaked the industry secret to the whole world. So you're welcome, world. Exclusive industry insider tip from the one and only Josh Phillips.
oh man, I don't want to be that guy.
Hey, well, you just became him, so
Oh man.
oh well. You just got to adjust. You got to adapt to this new media craze environment that you're in. All right. So are you still working as a duo or are you single? Because I know you had that whole duo relationship for a little bit. I don't know if that was official or what was this whole story behind that?
Um, so when I first started playing at Pasha, I was playing with a good friend of mine, Mike Greenberg, and
Hmm.
we had a duo called Mavis and Burke, and it did really well. We just went in different directions, honestly. You know, um, I got really heavy into producing, and he went into more of the business aspect of this hospitality and artists, working with artists directly. And we
Hmm.
did a reunion show last month. We played back to back. It was like a year since we had last played. So we got together, got all our friends together, and we played at Pasha, and it was awesome. It was probably one of the sets I enjoyed the most in a really long time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, so Savage, obviously Savage. I know his
Wow.
uh, I know
Savant.
his brother. Met him once or twice. Shant, I think I don't remember
Yeah.
how to pronounce his name. But anywho, he asked a question. I think I already know your answer, but he knows your answer, so you'll say, all right. Favorite artist in the game, and don't answer like a politician. LOL. So,
Okay.
so you can't say Nerva.
Um,
I
hands
think that's what that
down.
means.
Hands down, favorite artist in the game is probably Kreider.
Okay. Female artist though.
Oh, that's what he wants?
He wants female, not just normal artist. But there you go. You got another question out of him. That's
Female,
two birds
wow.
with one stone.
Um,
See, it got a lot harder.
female DJ? Or just like
Female.
female DJ?
Female artist. Female artist.
Oh, if I have to pick just in general an artist, I would say Ellie Goulding.
Ooh, it's a good one.
She's like my number one. I'm like I have a crush on her like hard.
So does get in line, man. Get in line. So is she still with Skrillex? I don't know the
I
whole deal
don't
behind
I
that.
don't think so. So I
Neither
think
do I. Well, Josh, you can reach out to her, make
yeah,
make
I
some
could
celebrity.
try.
You can yeah, you can try. Good luck with that one.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So right now I kind of want to talk about where this is going for you in the future. 'Cause obviously, you've done the local thing, you've done New York, you've done Long Island. You're a young guy. And now you have a lot of connections, kind of worldwide connections. What's the next step for you? Where are you heading?
Um, I've kind of like taken. I haven't stopped DJing, but I've been very selective on picking and choosing gigs because I've been spending a lot of time in the studio. So I have a ton of unreleased stuff, and I'm just gonna do what everyone else is doing and just start putting out records, continuously.
Hmm.
Once a month, once every 2 months, and just hopefully, some catch, somebody out there sees something in my music and eventually just build the brand of Josh Phillips and
Hmm.
get proper management, get booking agent, all of that kind of, just the regular deal that everyone else is trying to do.
Cool. Do
Yeah.
you don't already have do you already have management and an agent already, like small time, or doing
Uh,
everything
I'm
yourself, or
I'm currently self-managed,
okay.
which I think for me is the best thing at the moment. I've met with management, but I
Hmm.
just haven't felt that I need it yet, and I haven't
Right.
felt the right connection yet. When you meet your manager, like things just kind
Right.
of click, and
It's it's like meeting Ellie Goulding. You
yeah,
just know you're gonna be together forever.
yeah,
You just know
exactly.
this.
It's just something that it's like it needs to be perfect because honestly, in this industry, good management will take you to the next level and then the next level beyond that.
Hmm. For
Yeah,
sure.
very
Yeah, I
important.
mean, I agree. I think that's just from kind of knowing you over the years, definitely being self-managed at this point, probably a good idea.
Yeah, it's perfect. I mean, I've done a pretty decent job at getting my own bookings around locally,
Hmm.
so I don't need a booking agent at this point in time. I would need one if I wanted to, go to other states,
Hmm.
possibly internationally. Then that would be perfect. But I'm not. I don't know if I'm there yet.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Are there any where's your dream gig right now? Obviously, if you could pick anywhere in the world, Josh Phillips, name and lights, the whole shebang, where would you be?
Ushuaia.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
there you go.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You'll have to hit them up for a booking. Get them to
Hopefully,
hit you up.
hopefully eventually I could. I mean, honestly, if I played anywhere on that island, my life would be complete. You know?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
What an island it is.
Yeah.
Best island in the world. Happy, happy place. Um, all right. So I know you wanted to play some of your tracks. Um, I'm thinking we can either do that now, or maybe we can just post it up as a SoundCloud link. I don't know. Are they out? Do you have them
Uh,
released publicly, or you just want to play them here?
I was gonna just to keep it interesting. I was gonna play a clip for my remix from Nervo.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, there's nothing posted yet. Most of my links are still private because they're
Okay.
not 100% yet. You
Yeah,
know.
for sure. All right.
I
So
mean,
here, let's do that. If you want to kind of give us a little bit of an intro of what we're gonna listen to, and
yeah,
then play it up.
yeah. Let me just give me a second here.
No problem. Take your time.
I don't want to come in too hot and blow everyone's speakers.
Yeah, gotta keep those ears protected. Everyone earplugs in right now.
Yeah,
If your baby is in the other room, ship it off to your parents' house or whatever you gotta do. No scaring children.
yeah, definitely not. All right, so can you still see me? Because I left the screen.
Yep.
All right, cool. So as far as the direction my music is moving in at the moment, this is probably the best reference I could give you. Hopefully this works. Yeah, it should work. Can you hear that?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna lower that for you. Yeah, so this is I guess a preview of my remix that I'm doing for Nervo. It's not finished, but it's something that you could enjoy at the moment. So here we go. Sunshine pouring out takes me away to a place I'd rather be with you. Sunshine pouring out takes me away to a place I'd rather be with you. Sunshine pouring out takes me away to a place I'd rather be with you. Sunshine pouring out takes me away to a place I'd rather be with you.
Yeah. Oh. Ooh.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh. Ooh. That was so. Ooh.
All
Ooh.
right, no, I'm
No
gonna play the
words for
drop
that.
now. I'll play the drop. I'll play the drop.
All right.
Yeah, so
Cool. That was so devious. Cutting it right before the drop. So suspenseful.
Yeah,
I love it.
spice
Yeah,
it up.
that sounded dope. I'm excited to hear it when it's all finished and all released.
Yeah,
And
thank you, man.
so where can everyone find your stuff? Where can we find you online? What are all your links, promos, all that good stuff?
Um, my Facebook is just Josh Phillips, and I think everything is Josh Phillips. Just pretty simple.
Yeah,
Slash Josh Phillips. Pretty
there
much
you go.
everything. It's,
There you go.
Facebook.com, Twitter.com, SoundCloud.com.
There you go.
Got some bugs here.
Yeah, everyone loves you, Josh. You got your private
Yeah.
jet, the bugs, it's the blondes, the brunettes, everyone. Oh my God.
Everyone.
All right, cool. So do you have any shows coming up you need to announce? Are you kind of just waiting to see what's
Uh,
going on? Or?
shows. Nothing planned. Oh, 4th of July. I'm
Mhm.
playing on Fire Island.
Okay.
Should be fun.
Yeah,
And
that's a fun place.
yeah, I'm excited for it. It should be cool. It's a label showcase for a local label, so it's cool to support local artists for sure.
Mhm. That's good. That's a really good point. So any local artists you want to shout out to? Give a little shout
Um,
out?
let's see. Well, I mean, there's so many.
There
Uh,
are.
some of my closer local friends. I mentioned Sid,
Mhm.
CID. He's from he claims he's from Queens, but he's from Long Island.
Ooh, one of those
Yeah,
guys.
he's one of those. No, he's from Queens. Savag, he's a Jersey guy, but I
Oh, is that how
consider
you
him
pronounce
local.
it?
Yeah, Savag.
Not Savage.
Hopefully, pretty sure it's Savag.
Oh my God. Ugh. Okay. Well,
Yeah, he sends me
sorry,
stuff all the time. Super talented. I enjoy his stuff. Gabe Ramos, I've known him from the beginning. We actually have a collaboration from like 2010 that we never finished and nobody's ever heard.
dude.
He's a good one. Theo, always. He's like the Long Island celebrity.
Mhm.
Hopefully, I'm not forgetting anybody.
It's okay if you are. You can just post on Facebook. Sorry, I forgot you, and then list the 20,000 people that are gonna hit you up after this and be like,
Yeah.
"Why didn't you mention me?" One thing I'll do a shout out for you. Joey Camarda. He uh
Oh yeah. There we
he
go. He
he's
sends me
okay.
stuff all the time too. Um, good stuff. He's got some good stuff coming out for
Yeah,
sure.
he's the one who asked for a breakdown of one of your records. I know you didn't have Logic open, so
Ah,
we didn't get
yeah.
into that,
Oh,
so that's
Misha
fine.
K. Misha K. Super
Okay,
talented. Be on the lookout for that guy.
there you go.
Like the
But yeah,
Mozart of EDM.
I wanted to shout out Joey. I know him. He's a total asshole. No, I'm just kidding. He's cool. He's a cool
No, he's a
kid.
cool guy.
He's a cool guy.
He
But
owes me a favor, and he knows what it is.
ooh,
He
I feel
knows
like
it. I'm
that's
not going to
so
blow up
Joey
his spot.
Camarda. That's so
I'm
Joey
not going to
Camarda.
blow up
Owe you
his
a
spot.
favor.
He owes me a favor, and
All
he
right,
knows what it is.
all right, Joey. Your sister belongs to Josh. I don't want
Whoa,
to get
no,
into
no,
it
no.
here, but just kidding. I don't even know if does he have a sister. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Well, let's hope he doesn't for the sake of this. Um, all right, cool, Josh. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Is there anything else you wanna talk about that we missed, or I think we hit a
Um,
lot.
what about you? Let me ask you a question.
Okay, hit me.
So, since you've started Run the Night,
Hmm.
how have things gone for you?
It's it's been an interesting ride to be completely honest. Of course, we started out more to be like just kind of an events engine kind of thing, and since pivoted to more the interviews, it's kind of more where I wanted to go. I wanted to kind of talk to a lot of people and get their opinions on things, and give them a format to communicate with their fans while also saying what's on their mind.
Okay.
So not I don't want it to be kind of like very formal, like oh you read something or edited, which is why I really like the Hangouts because you get it's kind of a 1 hour chunk of time and get to see what they're all about. And so far I like it. It gets hectic, but that's why now we're kind of doing it weekly to help with scheduling for everyone.
Okay.
'Cause that too gets to be a pain in the ass with guys all over the world. But yeah, overall it's going well. Thanks for asking, Josh.
So you like kind of just want to leave the politics at the door and inside this little hangout, you just want, everyone to just be able to speak their mind.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's cool. That's great, man.
Because what's the point? I mean, we're in this all for the love of the music and the love of the experience, and we already established politics is usually detracts from that. So giving people the opportunity just to say what's up,
Yeah,
everyone enjoys it.
for sure, man. I'm a supporter.
Oh,
I believe
there
it.
we go.
It's a
Josh
great
Phillips
content.
endorsed. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Josh. Thanks for the
Of
shout out
course.
on my behalf.
Thank
Billy
you.
Camarda, you got your shout out. Be happy. All right. See you guys later.
Thank you,
Peace.
man.